All right, everybody, welcome back. Once again, help me out, like, subscribe, share, comment, you know what to do. And go check out my other channel, Wisdom and Brews. Hit me up on that one. Hit subscribe on that one. Really, a lot of that stuff is just learning how to be spiritual and personally empowered. Whereas a lot of this stuff just has to be with a lot of the practicality of just clinical stuff. My other channel, I feel like, is a little bit more personable. More geared toward just being the best version of yourself that you can be. And so, anyways, thank you for watching this video. I'm going to talk about, what am I talking about? The biggest misconception about narcissists or narcissistic personality disorder. People always kind of give me that stunned look when I tell them this. They don't believe me at first because they actually fall for the dog and pony show that is narcissism. And what is the dog and pony show? Well, the dog and pony show is to convince everybody how great they are. It's an act. It's BS. It's a dog and pony show. They do this deliberately. And I'll kind of get into why. But the biggest misconception about narcissists is that they love themselves. They don't. That's just the truth. They don't love themselves. In fact, if we were able to peel back the layers, we would discover that they are actually just like many of us in the regard of they are their own worst enemy. They actually are extremely insecure. They detest themselves. And then people often ask me the question, well, how come we don't see that? Well, because their number one goal is to hide it. I read an article in Psychology Today years ago that I thought was brilliant on narcissism. It gave me a very excellent insight on narcissism, and I've been using it ever since. I've been writing on it ever since, and that is that narcissism is the frantic effort to avoid any and all vulnerability. They will always protect themselves. It is a maladaptive behavior that they will never ever show vulnerability. Chances are when they were children, when they were young, that anytime they showed any kind of vulnerability, it was extremely painful for them. And I personally believe that we see narcissism in males more so because most males grow up in homes and environments where vulnerability is extremely discouraged, frowned upon. It's a shameful thing to do for males, whereas females and girls can be validated strongly when they show that vulnerability. It's more of a feminine trait, it seems, to be able to show emotions and show some of that emotional vulnerability. All of that being said, the biggest misconception about narcissists is that they actually love themselves. They don't. I guarantee you. I promise you that they don't. They're just as insecure. I actually believe they are far more insecure than the rest of us, which is why they go to work 10 times harder at hiding it than the rest of us. And so if you kind of go at them with the belief that they actually have a massive inferiority complex, and the personality disorders manifested out of a need to self-preserve and to guard their vulnerability and their insecurity. I feel like the disorder makes a lot more sense. Keep in mind, right, borderline is a frantic effort to avoid abandonment, and I believe narcissism is a frantic effort to avoid vulnerability, which would explain why that those who have borderline will often go to a therapist, whereas someone who has narcissism will never go to a therapist. If they do, it's usually because they're either A, just agreeing to go to couples counseling, and they usually just shut down and don't say anything or do anything, or just say, I'm fine, everything's fine, nope, I'm fine, I don't need this. Or they seek out a therapist because they're trying to gather their henchmen. They're trying to get a professional to help them leverage somebody else. Unfortunately, this is more true and more common than a lot of people would like to believe. Now, here's the thing. I share this with some reluctance. And I'm sharing it with reluctance because I don't like perpetuating or providing information in which we can exploit or harm others. But in my own personal experience, I have gotten a lot of traction, at least fending off narcissists, and I've done this only because out of self-preservation. Frankly, I don't do it deliberately in any context other than I just want them to back off. And usually it's that I have found that if I am talking to someone who's very narcissistic and is aggressively, I only use this when they are very aggressive or hostile or attacking me. And so again, it's a defensive tactic for me. This is why I'm kind of reluctant to share this, because I don't. This is not something that should be weaponized. It's because it's wrong. It's just fundamentally not right thing to do. But I found that if I am able to identify what it is that they're insecure about and speak to it and point it out and show them that I see it and show them that I recognize it and that I've got eyes on it, that's usually when they back off really quick. They backpedal rapidly. The thing that they're trying to hide the most, and I'm seeing it and I've got eyes on that ball, and they suddenly feel vulnerable. Bogeys are bugging out and going home, Ghost Rider. Top Gun reference? No? Sorry. Guilty pleasure, what can I say? So, again, if you see a narcissist, and it's just like, yeah, and I've seen these types. Oh, I'm the best at everything. I'm better at everything than everybody. It's a dog and pony show, and unfortunately, a lot of people fall for this. I was in a situation a few years ago where I was helping to run a local men's group. It was a men's support group, and unfortunately, support groups can draw some nasty people. The wolves, right? In the world full of wolves, sheep, and sheepdogs, unfortunately, wolves seek support groups. They just do. So if you're in a support group like that, Codependence Anonymous or something, where people are really vulnerable, watch out. The wolves, they look for those. I promise you, they really do. So you got to watch out. And I was astounded that this one individual, who I am absolutely certain was a narcissist, I'm better at everything than everybody. I'm an expert at that, and I'm an expert at women. I'm an expert with relationships. I'm an expert at running business. By the way, was not successful in any of those areas. Oh, I'm an expert when it comes to nutrition and fitness. Expert in everything, right? And therapists tell me that I should be a therapist. Yeah, okay. He tried to get me to do that, and I pretended I didn't hear him. What? Huh? Sorry, I wasn't listening. Anyways, I kind of digress. The biggest misconception about narcissists is that they love themselves and they have high self-esteem. Okay? All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.